listening to Unpause Your Life with Dr. Cali Estes and Master Coach Jenny Fontana, founders of the Life Coach Method. Each one of our uplifting and deep dive episodes is geared to help you tackle the things that hold you back from having the most magnificent life you deserve. Sit back, relax, and prepare to be coached.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Unpause Your Life with Dr. Cali Estes and Master Coach Jenny Fontana for another fun and engaging episode full of information and takeaways. Jenny, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Ready to spill the tea.
We're going to spill the tea on emotional behavior. Let's talk about that. Everybody has a reaction to someone else, right? We're in the advent of the cancel culture, and you can't say that, and someone made you not feel good, and the cry rooms at college, and all that other stuff. I call it nonsense, but stuff, right? Everybody's offended by everything. I put a post up, and someone says, I'm offended by that. It's pretty much, other than putting up pictures of my dogs, I can't really, I offend everybody with everything I say, because there's somebody out there who doesn't agree. So how do we emotionally not respond and react to a situation and think about it? That's a good question, right? So Jenny, you're on social media. Are you seeing people having negative posts and being nasty to one another?
Well, all the time. And it can be from the oddest subjects too. And are we talking, you're putting something negative out there to start a post, maybe because you're frustrated? Or are you reacting to other people's negative behavior and your emotional response?
Okay, so the first one we call starting a dumpster fire. There's actually a name for it. I'm starting a dumpster fire. I want to start chaos. I want to post something controversial to get people to react and interact with me because I need attention, right? Negative attention, positive attention, doesn't matter. As long as people are commenting on what I say, I feel good about myself, right?
Okay.
So that's a problem. If you need attention and don't care if it's negative or positive, that's a problem. That's somebody that should be in therapy. Bottom line. So that's one thing. It's another if you read that and you respond. If you know that person needs attention and they're doing this specifically to irritate other people, your best course of action is just ignore them. Because the more you engage, the more they post. The more negative things they bring on. And then eventually it comes directed at you. And this comes everything from haters to just general people that you don't like. I mean, you've seen, we have a mutual friend on Facebook. Did you see what happened to Misty on Facebook?
Yes. Absolutely horrific. Yeah.
So tell me what you experienced by reading her post.
So it was, and she's a beautiful person inside and out. She gives such great content to people, offering help all the time. She's there for so many. And someone who disagreed with who she is as a person, disliked her for whatever reason. And you know what? That's okay. We don't all have to love each other, but decided to take it, many steps further and basically not only write her hate mail, but come to her property, put that, in her personal property, in her space, and come to her with these hateful words and pictures and things like that they put together.
I found this one interesting. So I'm going to tell the readers, because Misty made it public, so it's public information on Facebook. What had happened was Misty's into fitness, and she was a bigger girl who's now very fit, very attractive, and she talks about her process of getting there. And she sells, I believe, Isogenics or one of the products. And this woman took pictures of overweight women and put her face on them and took a picture of Jim Carrey when he wore the bikini in one of his movies and put her face on there and basically called her fat and dumpy and all these things. And that comes from a place of jealousy. Whoever was watching her, engaging with her, obviously was triggered. So in therapy, we call that triggering. So when you're triggered by somebody, it's usually because they have something you either want or something you see in yourself you don't like. It's one of two reasons. So that person was triggered either because Misty was able to obtain those goals or because she's so friendly and so nice and the other person didn't like that somehow, saw something there that irritated her. So her response to that was, I'm going to lash out. I'm going to act out emotionally. Now,
with the negative behavior.
Right. And we're talking middle-aged women. We're talking mid-40s. We're not talking 21-year-old or 16-year-old that can't control their emotions because they don't have enough life experience. We're talking about middle-aged women. So I completely understand, having been on the receiving end of, haterade, as we call it. But I handle it a little differently. And I want to tell our readers what I do, or readers, our listeners, readers are what I put on my face when I can't see. I want to tell our listeners, oh my God, I'm so old I can't see, what I do. So the first question you ask is, what don't you like about yourself? So let me ask you this. Have you ever met another woman for the first time?
Sure.
What happens when you meet a new woman for the first time?
You connect with them on, something that you may have in common. So usually you're meeting them at some place or time that is a connection for both of you. Like right now, a lot of it for me has to do with school and church. I meet a lot of people that I know through those two organizations.
Have you ever met another woman specifically, that you just didn't like? Within 5 minutes of meeting them, you just didn't like them?
I wouldn't say I've ever had someone that I knew right off the bat I didn't like. I felt like I had less connection to them.
Okay.
There might be, just we wouldn't connect as well, as close.
Have you ever had someone try to, when they first met you, put you down?
Sure. Yeah. More comparing, that they have more, they have better, they have whatever it is that, by comparing, a kind of an insult or a put down by way of comparison.
So this is interesting. So we're sisters. We're 6 years apart. If our listeners don't know that, you're the baby sister. I'm the elder, wiser sister, supposedly.
Elder. The verdict's still out on wiser.
So I'm a type A and you're a type B. Type A's are very direct women. We are entrepreneurs. We unapologetically say things that can be considered gruff. We are the people you ask if you want to know if the outfit looks good on you, because we're going to look at you and say, no, it looks stupid, take it off. We don't care if your feelings are hurt. We're going to give you our opinion if you ask us. We're type A. We rarely get offended by other people's nonsense. Number one, we don't care. And number two, we don't have time for that. So if we meet a woman that says something like, for example, I really like your hair, but oh my God, your shoes don't match. I'm going to laugh and say, we're lucky I have pants on today. We're both lucky I'm dressed and I've combed my hair. Because I don't really care you don't like my shoes. It's not important to me. So that's a type A. A type B person will hear that comment and maybe stop and go, what's wrong with my shoes? Or what's wrong with this person that they don't like my shoes? And it gets them thinking. And it's a trait in therapy. It's a defense mechanism called undoing. And women do it a lot. If you're triggered by someone, it causes a reaction, right? So you've met somebody who maybe kind of put you down or said something derogatory, you triggered them. How do you handle that in this situation? What do you do? Ignore it and just keep talking?
Me personally or in general?
What do you do? How do you handle it?
Well, I struggle with letting things go if I feel that they don't seem quite right. So depending on what the situation would be, like, I might bring it up back to them and say, oh yeah, do tell me more. I deal with the same things, regardless of if it's, A or B. We have the same issue, or I can completely relate to that. I have the same thing, or, just kind of bringing it back so that they understand there's not that big of a difference, even though they want to try to make there be a bigger, canyon between what they think is, their world versus my world.
That's so interesting. So that's trying to make things calm, make things okay. So there's no controversy, there's no arguing, there's no chaos.
But it also allows me to have a say in not a rebuttal, but almost like, and not a defending either, but almost just, I hear what you're saying, and I think you're coming from a place that's not very nice or positive. So I'm going to say something that's going to let you know I've heard you, and I think that you're being insensitive or you're being callous, depending on what the situation is.
Okay, so that's interesting. So we handle it in different ways. You acknowledge what they're saying. You say, I hear you, I acknowledge you. However, your behavior is not appropriate for the situation.
Right. Pretty much. Right. Yeah.
So you parent.
And whether they get that or not, I don't know.
You parent. You parent. That's what a parent does. I hear you. Right. I acknowledge you. However, I'm not going to permit that. That's excellent. Yes. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is exactly what I do. Or if you really want to get fun, is you call them on the behavior. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you meet someone for the first time and they say, your shirt's amazing, but my goodness, you really need to learn how to do your hair because you don't know how to do your hair, right? Mm-hmm. What did you hear?
The hair.
You heard about
there's
the hair.
Something wrong with your hair. Yeah.
Right. So if you really want to have some fun, you simply say to them, oh, really? What about your hair don't you like? That you have projected that on me. Put them in the hot seat. That is the most fun thing to do because I love to people watch. But when you do that to somebody, watch their body language. They cannot stand still. They shift feet. They put their hands in their pockets. They get all huffy puffy, and chances are they walk away. Very interesting. So you're mirroring behavior. It's a technique called mirroring, which we're going to talk about as we go along in our podcasting. But it's something you can do. So you've got three options.
Wait, hold on. Let me just pause there before. Unless you're showing up to pick up after school with the mom bun that's been messed up for 3 hours hanging off the side of your head, then they have every right to tell you got to do something with that jacked up head.
You know what though? Here's the thing. My hair looks like that 24/7. My hair is never done. People laugh because I have either 5-star hair and makeup that came in or homeless. There's no in between with me. It's like, that's it. So I look like that all the time. So people are shocked when I show up clean and, showered and my hair is done because they're not expected to see that. So they normally go, oh, wow, that's different. So you have different options. You can accept what they're saying and don't internalize it. You can, tell them, okay, you're entitled to your opinion. However, I don't appreciate the way you come at me, which at this point they should know that if they're in their mid 40s. Or you can pull a me and say, we're both lucky I have pants on. You're worried about my hair? Right. We're lucky I put, you know what? I wonder if I washed my clothes today. So I diffuse the situation with basically, I don't care about your opinion. I let you know your opinion means absolutely nothing to me. Because I can't be successful if I'm concerned about your opinion about me, which can come across as egotistical, crass, and bitchy, but it's true. If I have to stop and worry about everybody's opinion of me, I would get nothing done. Nothing. I always say, if you don't pay my bills, take care of my dogs, run my company, your opinion means nothing. Nothing. So you have that. And then, of course, if you want to have fun, you can put it back at them and throw what they told you back. You can mirror. So these are things you can do when you're dealing with hate. Now, of course, if it's Facebook, you can just block them. That's simple. But in real life, you can't just block somebody, especially if you see them at work, or you see them at the grocery store, or you see them at the gym. You have to learn how to deal with that personality. And if you're somebody who doesn't like chaos and doesn't like confrontation, that's going to be difficult.
Yeah, or if you're extremely hurt by, or you're, dealing with something, lack of confidence, your self-esteem's low, you're going to internalize those comments as your reality. You're going to perceive those things as reality, and then be focused on, what do I need to change about me? What do I need to do? What's wrong with me? That now I know why people don't like me. It's all because I don't do my hair right, or, put on pants.
and that ends up in different things like body dysmorphia and body self-loathing, which we're going to cover in other podcasts. And it all comes from an expectation, whether it's society's expectation, your friend, your mother, your sister. If somebody tells you you need to do this and you don't, you're automatically being told you don't measure up. You don't measure up because you don't do this thing, whatever it is.
Right. Based on their opinion of what should be done.
Correct. And then you have that this person doesn't like me because I can't do this well, whatever it is. I can't cook, I can't clean, I don't shop right, my hair doesn't look right. And then your self-esteem drops. And what happens? The self-esteem goes lower and lower and lower, and you try harder and harder to hit this bar that somebody else set for you instead of you setting your own bar.
Right.
And, when I'm out in public, and I laugh with people, because I am 99.9%, when I'm out in public running my errands or whatnot, I'm wearing workout booty shorts, a tank top, a big sweatshirt, and a visor, and my hair up, and I probably haven't combed it in 3 hours. I get the most looks and hit on from men in that outfit. No makeup, no jewelry, nothing. And it's not because of the way I look, it's the self-confidence I bring to the table. So it also has to do with self-confidence, being able to handle haters and negative behavior, knowing that you're okay on the inside.
Exactly. And further to the point, that if your self-esteem, your self-confidence, your self-worth continues to tank, and you're in that negative space, you could end up being the one projecting the negative behavior that starts the ball rolling out there on social media. You could end up being the one saying to that woman that you just met, she needs to fix her hair, or, having those snarky, nasty comments that women love to have to each other, instead of being there and supporting and building each other up.
And that's another defense mechanism. That's called displacement, otherwise known as kick the dog syndrome. The husband comes home, yells at the wife yells at the kids kick the dog. It all rolls downhill. Shit rolls downhill. That's exactly what that is. So let's go back to Misty for a second. I love the way she handled the problem. So she took the letter that the girl left with the photos and put it on Facebook, didn't name her and call her out. She just said, this happened. And then for the next week or so, she tagged herself in at the gym and said, living my best life, having a good time, working out, hitting my goals. And I was watching all the positive comments, thinking to myself, she is going to pick up more clients for her program based upon a piece of negative hate mail, because that's exactly what I do. And then she's going to roll with that in a positive fashion instead of going negative on negative, which is what your mind wants to do. It wants to shoot back negative.
Right, because you think from an emotional standpoint, you're hurt, you're wounded by someone saying these things to you. You feel upset because nobody likes to have anybody not like them. I mean, generally we all want to be liked, just we want people to appreciate what we offer. We want people to want to be around us, want to do things with us. So it's easy to go from that perspective and be like, oh, this really stinks, and change your mentality for the day based on that haterade, and it's just really great, inspirational point to remember that you're not made up of what other people say about you, that she has self-worth, she has self-confidence, she has her motivation, her goals, and her success is not based on what this woman had to say about her.
Exactly. And my mantra has always been my mantra. And if you're listening, this is a great one to add to your repertoire, is your opinion of me is none of my business.
Yep.
Basically, I don't care what you think.
Right.
Because I'm going to live my best life, whether or not it triggers you, makes you upset, or you sit there and blog about me all day long. I have one hater that's been attacking me for 6 years, and she puts me in a blog consistently because she doesn't like me. And she'll go on Facebook and take a picture that I put up and spin a story about not liking me. And I sit here and laugh, and I'm like, this is really funny. Like, you're that concerned with me for that many years, you're still watching me. So
right.
You're not a hater, you're a fan. You're a fan.
Right.
You're just
Exactly.
a negative fan. That's all.
Yep.
So you have to see what I'm doing. So changing your perception around what you see, and of course not letting it get to you, is key. So your opinion of me
Absolutely.
is none of my business.
None of my business.
Yep.
That's right.
So add that to your repertoire. And once again, thank you for listening to Unpause Your Life. Join us as we have more fun topics. If there's something you want to see or hear from us, hit us up at unpauseyourlife.com, fill out the form, and tell us what you want us to talk about. Most of the time, we'll talk about it. A couple topics are off limits, but not many. So until next time, au revoir.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Unpause Your Life with Dr. Cali Estes and Master Coach Jenny Fontana. Head over to www.thelifecoachmethod.com to learn more about coaching yourself and how to become a master coach.